Good day, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video where we are going to cover the top 10 worst foods that are absolutely damaging to your health and energy. And these are the 10 foods that I think are the top 10 foods that you should definitely avoid while you're out on Earth. And you probably know some of these foods. But in this video, what you'll see is you'll know why these foods are so bad. And the reason why is so important because it might be tempting to eat some chips or a donut or something like that, but you actually realize how much these things destroy your body. I'm going to cover in today's video. Let's look at the number one worst food. 1. Number one food is chips. Yes, chips. I can almost hear you groaning from here. We all love them. Most of us grew up with them. Chips are literally the living definition of empty calories. Taking a low-quality potato, putting inflammatory oils on it, and deep frying it, and then covering it with salt. It has basically no nutritional value, so these things aren't high in calories, they keep you full, and they're filled with a bunch of preservatives and other crap that are generally bad for your health. And in preparation for this video, I'm looking to see if anyone can eat 3 ounces of chips a week and add more than 24,000 calories to your diet. Dieting each year is the equivalent of about 7 pounds of added fat, so you need to eliminate chips. And the key to doing this is to actually go to your pantry, and if you have low-quality chips, throw them away. Get rid of them from your pantry, and you can replace them with healthier versions of chips. So here's a brand site that I like, and there are other brands that you can find at your local grocery store. These chips are made with better types of flour, not potatoes, usually almonds or a flour cost, and a much healthier one. They use avocado oil, which is fat, so the next key is to make sure you're actually eating a proper portion, rather than reaching into that endless black hole of a bag and eating chips. Very good. Let's move on to the number 2 worst food on this list. Food number 2 is non-organic bread, and I specifically want to buy non-organic bread and grow bread this early in the video. Because look, it's an obvious fact that you can eat bread and still lose weight. It just has to be the right kind. And that's why I can say this with such confidence. They weigh thousands of pounds and most of them have bread and sandwiches in their lives, but they eat organic sprouted bread, typically a bread like Ezekiel. Bread Dave's Killer sprouted bread is an option, or organic sourdough. These are much better breads and organic is key, because if you're eating non-organic bread, you're going to add it to your bread, also known as Roundup. It's sprayed with a pesticide called glyphosate, and it's toxic. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's in all our food. It destroys your gut microbiome. It's a known carcinogen. It causes fertility issues, neurological issues, and it's everywhere. They bought all these different foods, and then they tested them in the lab for the amount of glyphosate. You can look at that report. If you want to learn more about weed-susceptible foods, you don't have to eat bread at all, but you can also try this. One of the oldest types of wheat, adulterated ancient wheat, like unmade iron corn wheat and things like that. A lot of people tolerate it really well if they have any gluten sensitivity. Let's move on to the third worst food. The third is pastries, buns. Let's move on to food number 3. Worst food number 3 is baked goods, like pastries, donuts, strudels, and stuff like that. And you're probably thinking, duh, that stuff's obviously bad for me, but I want you to. But the problem is these bromides actually get into your thyroid gland, the gland in your neck that controls all your metabolism hormones, and it binds to that thyroid gland in the thyroid receptor that normally needs iodine. This key nutrient we know we want for our foods. Iodine makes thyroid hormone bromide blocks. This whole process, so you have a more sluggish metabolism. You can experience fatigue if you're a woman, menstrual irregularities, hair issues, and just not feeling good at all. So baked, go our breakfast, and breakfast is the time of day. You want to keep your carbs lower and keep your protein healthy fats higher. You don't want to dysregulate your blood sugar super early in the morning. So get these things out of your life. And instead of pastries, you could do that. Ezekiel bread with the avocado toast kind of scenario. You could have an egg-based recipe for breakfast. You could just get some higher quality stuff and make sure that you're protecting your thyroid. Let's get into food getting a higher quality pasta, and they're not loading it with really high fat sauce. So even like a cup of chicken Alfredo has like 500 calories, and like, let's be honest, this stuff's so good. You want to eat like Have pasta. You absolutely want to go with a low sugar marinara sauce, something like a red sauce. You want to look on the back of it and make sure it has less than 4 grams of sugar. Or no added sugars, ideally. Oh, wreck your health. Long term, get that out still. Enjoy the kind of pasta with a red or a lighter sauce. Let's get into our next food, worst food number 5. On our list is fried fish and fried chicken, and really just fried foods in general. But I want to zone in on those two. What is fried food? Well, it's taking some kind of meat, oftentimes a lower quality protein, putting it typically in non organic wheat, and then dipping it in low quality oil at a high temperature and creating all these trans fats, those omega 3s. And in contrast, they found that eating fried fish 1 or more times a week was associated with a 48 increased risk of heart failure. This top fried foods is toxic for your cardiovascular system. It has all these kinds of inflammatory fats that get into your arteries, and then your body lays down plaque in response to the inflammation. And then over time, if you keep on doing this, you get atherosclerosis. You can have a heart attack. You can have a stroke. Fried foods are not good. Now, if you like the cooks in the water in these little packages, and the cool thing about sous vides, you can cook it at low temperature, which makes it even healthier for you. Whatever works for your family, get the fried foods out, prepare with just baked, grilled, and broiled. And if you ever go to a restaurant, that's going to be the best thing to order. Find the protein that you like, bake, grilled, something like that, or the side of some veggies. And you'll always be able to find a healthy meal wherever you go. Leonge your life, if not take your life. You do not want to mess with that stuff, but they're also not great for your heart. A lot of these low quality meats honestly have like the worst parts of the animal kind of like put together. Plus, they're often high in a bunch of salt. Plus, they're often high in very low quality saturated fats, so it's just like a recipe for disaster. So instead of hot dogs that are low quality, just have some ground beef. Just have some grass fed steak. Get something that's less better for you, even though that's processed. But if you can cook an actual chicken breast and slice that, that's going to be the best option. Get the low quality processed meats out of your life. Occasionally, if you want to have an all beef organic grass fed hot dog in the summer, go for it, but not on a weekly basis. It'll definitely hurt your health. Let's get into the next food on this list. Worst food number 7 on our list is French fries. And like, duh, of course these are not good for us, but I want the best source of acrylamides if you want to kill yourself. Eat French fries every single day. And here's the thing, if you're going to go out to fast food eventually with your family, maybe you're into sports or doing some stuff and you're on the go, you need to eat some food. The cool thing about this is you can still have that burger or whatever on occasion from a fast food, or get the chicken sandwich even better. Just skip the fries. You can still enjoy yourself, but the fries are just terrible. That thing, put it in the oven and bake it until it's crispy. It can be around 30-40 minutes. You just made your own homemade fries. So much better. Not deep fried. Still gives a lot of benefit. And I'll still say this, if you're used to getting like the frozen pre-packaged fries from the grocery store, they're like already cut. Those are not as good as you making them on your own because they're still lathered in some low quality oil. So if you can do it fresh fruit is almost always going.